Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to find out if this Schrade SCHF52M is as good as it's cracked up to be. Alright, so let me quickly explain what I mean by is as good as it's cracked up to be. Years ago on YouTube, Schrade was one of the hotter knives. Everybody was reviewing them. And they put out great knives, and that's when I picked up this SCHF36. And I have used the living daylights out of this thing. I've used the heck out of it. So much so that I stripped off the coating and I put a mustard patina on it. And I mean, this knife I would not in the slightest bit feel worried about going out in a survival situation with. It has served me very well. Never a problem, even used it camping. So, you know, it's never been an issue. It keeps a nice sharp edge. But when they got bought out, I believe by a different company, a lot of people started complaining about the quality of the knives. And I wanted to try out and see if Schrade has still kind of kept up their quality. Now, I have tried this a little bit. I've played around a little bit with it. It's brand new, but there are some markings on it because I did a little batoning with it just to make sure it wasn't going to fall apart in my hands. It doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart. The micarta grips are really nice on this. I really like the micarta grips. We're going to go through the specs of it. Basically, it's a 13-inch overall length with a blade length of 7 inches. And that's 17.9 centimeters, 0.8 centimeters, close enough. And a weight of 1 pound and 1.4 ounces, or 17.4 ounces. Now, the thickness of it is not as thick as my SCHF36, but by millimeters. You know, you can just kind of see it. The thickness of it is 1/4 inch from tip to pommel and 1/6 inch at its widest. So the blade is made of reliable 1095 high carbon steel, which I like for an outdoor blade. Some guys don't like it. I tend to like it. It holds an edge fairly decently, sharpens easily, does need care because it will rust on you if you don't take care of it. And with the finger guard and the way this handle is, and the same thing on my other knife, I really like the way it fits in my hand. And you do have that additional finger choil. Sometimes these make me nervous, but using these knives, it's so big and so far away from the blade that if I were to choke up on this knife to do a project, I wouldn't feel like I was going to slip and hit that blade right away. Out of the box, it came fairly sharp, definitely serviceable. After I batoned a little bit with it, I did touch up the edge a little bit. It does strike a ferro rod very well, although the edge isn't as sharp as the other knife, but it does strike a ferro rod very well. My only complaint aesthetically was there was a lot of glue up in here, stuck up in here, and kind of along here, but nothing's broken. Everything's lined up nice and neat, and you know. Another nice thing they have done too is they've taken this finger jimping down a little bit. It's not sticking up from the grips. So while it's there and gives you an aggressive hold, it's not rubbing against you. So I don't feel there'll be any hot spots with it. I do like this little back kind of bird's head rear. It just makes you feel like you got a little more control over the knife when you're using it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take it outside. We're going to chop up some wood with it. We're going to try and make curls with it, although it's kind of a big knife to make curls with. And we're going to try to start a fire with it. I will show you what it comes with. Inside the pouch here, you get the Schrade ferro rod. Same as all the others, and we'll use this one, although I have to get the coating off it. And you get the sharpener, and this is a very aggressive sharpener. I would probably say this is good for emergency use, but I might find something a little bit better to put in there. Even if it's just one of those simple pull-through sharpeners, it's a little less aggressive. It's easy to make mistakes with an aggressive one, so if you're new to sharpening, be very careful when using this. I just use my work sharp, to be honest with you. And this work sharp, as of today, I looked at my Amazon history, is 5 years old. And it's still going strong. So I just use that, or I use my bigger work sharp, which is the same concept. So let's take it outside, and I'm going to chop up some wood. I'm going to just do a common kind of thing. I'm going to chop up some wood, baton a bunch of wood down, chop it into smaller pieces, make some curls, some tinder, and we're going to try and start a fire with it. All right, so first we're going to try off this piece right here. Not a huge log, but we'll give it a little test. I've been chopping up some other stuff out here. Get it on the side. There we go. through that nice and easy. Let's chop that in half. At least take it down a little. And let's see how this does chopping. Does pretty good. Let's check out the blade. No damage on the blade. Okay, so let's continue chopping this guy up. Making a nice little pile of firewood. And this is just some leftover stuff that's been outside too long. So I figured it's time to use it up. One of the benefits of having a nice long blade is you can baton very, very easily with it. I got the whole end there to hit all the way down. Tears through wood fairly simple. So I'm going to chop up a little more wood, and we're going to test it out a little more and do a little more chopping with it, and then we'll try and do a fire with it. All right, we got a nice pile of wood. I'm not looking to build a huge fire today. So now we're going to try and make some curls with it, and we'll do that over on the wood over there, and by the magic of editing, you're right there. So far, blade has held up very well. I don't see any damage to it or anything. So I think so far for common camp tasks and stuff, not a problem. And I did want to try out a bigger knife as well. Like I said, when I'm batoning bigger, thicker pieces of wood with that little SCHF56, it's not as easy to do because you don't have all that extra blade on the end. So let's try and make some curls here. For a big knife, it's actually, and I'm not the best curl maker in the world either, but for a big knife, I'm actually doing it. Actually making some pretty decent curls. And if I wanted to, I could probably do a notch with this. Yeah, just cut down into it. Nice notch. You know, see if you could just chop right through it. Wood is just, there we go. Wood is just falling apart, but I suspect it's got bugs. See the little holes in it. So it's not the best curl making wood either. The spine, let's see how we do with fat wood. We got a piece of fat wood here. Not as sharp of a spine as my other knife. That's something I'll probably have to work on with it. But as you can tell, it is doing pretty good now with the fat wood. Making a nice little pile of shavings, but it definitely doesn't have that sharp 90-degree angle. It does have the smoother finish, but if you notice, that finish wears off fairly quickly. So it's not like the old finish, even though the old finish was kind of annoying. This finish tends to wear off quickly, but again, you know, within a month or two of using this, I'm probably going to strip it and coat it. So let's keep making a little more fat wood shavings here. We finally got a day where it's not super windy and I don't have to block off the whole area so the fat wood shavings don't blow away. There. So let's turn it around, go into my new little fire pit, and try the ferro rod and see how that works. All right, we're going to try it with the Schrade ferro rod. I scraped off a little section there, so you don't have to sit and watch me scrape it off. I'm going to try it out and see. Remember, these are kind of small and hard to use. Yeah, the ferro rod is not the same. I don't know if I'm getting enough edge on the. Let's try a different part of the knife, because that is a big difference. It's definitely something I notice right off the bat. And I don't know if it's the spine that just isn't doing it, because it did it with my other ferro rod, which I did bring out just in case. This is a bit of a bigger ferro rod, and it's throwing sparks, so it's probably the ferro rod. Yeah, see? So the Schrade ferro rod is kind of not thrilled by it. And I'm just going to take this and light up a piece of fat wood there and toss it in the fire. So it's not the knife, it is the ferro rod. I'm tossing it in the fire. I hope you saw that, because the shadows out here stink right now. It's just the afternoon, and it's the way it is when I'm in the way of it. But at least you can see the fire going. There's the, move it up and give you the fire pit view. That's starting up in there. But yeah, either it's the spine of the knife, but it did work very well with this ferro rod, and still does, as you can tell. So I think this ferro rod's probably not as good as it used to be. So that'll get replaced. But yeah, when they offer it as a feature, it should at least work. And I'm finding that this and the sharpener, for a new person, I wouldn't tell them to run out and buy that because of those features. Because the sharpener, well, the sharpener is a little bit on the useless side if you're new, and the ferro rod is kind of not that great. Not thrilled, but it does work with a regular ferro rod, so it's not the spine of the knife that's causing the problem. It's probably just the ferro rod. Anyway, we got a fire going. It's taken a lot of abuse out here. I've done a lot more chopping than I've done on video, and blade edge is still super sharp. Let's get a piece of wood. Actually, we'll get it out of here. You can see it still bites right into the wood and cuts pieces right out of it, no problem. So, blade seems to hold up pretty well. This blade itself, definitely worth it. The accessories that come with it, and that's funny because on my SCHF56, the ferro rod does work very well. And if you go back, God, 4 or 5 years in my videos, I actually used it and started a fire with it. But anyway, let's get back inside, and I'll give you my final thoughts on the blade, whether it's worth it, and what they could do to improve it. All right, back inside. The knife itself performed perfectly. I did do a little more work than you guys saw out there, and I didn't have any problems with it. No cracking, no damage. Blade is still perfect. Still super, super sharp. I don't know if I can get hair on camera coming off, but it's still shaving hair. Yeah, it's still shaving hair. So, I mean, that part of it's good. It looks like it's been heat treated correctly. The blade itself feels very good in your hand. I noticed when I was chopping into wood, it was kind of bouncing in my hand. That's probably my own lack of skill with knives. I was kind of letting it bounce off the wood instead of pushing all the way through. But other than that, the blade itself is awesome. The sharpener, like I said, I have the old sharpener in here too, in my old SCHF36. Now, I tried something when I came in, and this is interesting. I tried this again. This is the one that came with this knife. And I got a little spark there. There we go. Getting a little bit off it. But here's the old one that came with my other knife. Yeah, way different. So, and don't forget too, I'm working in around this camera, and I'm working in really short, kind of cramped environments. I don't really have a lot of room out there. So, that was probably some of it too. But you can tell the older Schrade ferro rod works way, way, way better than the newer one. And they don't look any different. It might just be the composition of this particular ferro rod, And of course, my old reliable one that I use out here works perfectly. So other than the ferro rod and the sharpener, I really don't have any complaints about it. It's a pretty decent knife and comfortable in the hand, worked very well. I'm going to sharpen it up a little bit, kind of touch it up, strop it really, and play with it more. And it'll kind of be something I use in the rotation in the channel till I have enough confidence in it that I know that it's not going to cause any catastrophic failures for me there. It won't break or anything. And we'll keep trying and using it. And eventually, when that coating wears off, I'll take off the scales and I'll just do a little mustard patina on it like my other one. But as far as the knife goes, for the price, it's well worth it. You really can't beat $42.35 for a knife that's going to work quite well for you outdoors. The sheath, I'll tell you something. The sheaths, they look cheap from Schrade. Let me put that old ferro rod into the right one. But they work. I mean, This lives in my larger bug out bag. And like I said, I have two. You don't need two. I just have two because I do a lot of reviews of gear. And I mean, I wore this sheath out there, and it's comfortable. It fits. It does what it's supposed to do. It's really not, you know, if you want to eventually make something prettier, of course. I'm more utilitarian, and as long as it works, I'm not going to mess with it. You know, I'm not going to be out in the woods shooting Instagram photos of my beautiful Kydex sheath and my knife, so I really don't care as long as it works, you know. And it is sturdy, and it is well stitched, and it does hold up. Same goes for the sheath on this one. Feels exactly the same. You know, there's no difference. There's no torn up areas or anything. The only real difference in this knife was the ferro rod, which I just wasn't impressed with. I may need to play with it a little more. I don't know. I'll just test it out a little more. I am going to get rid of this because I don't use these strikers for anything. I'll just stick with the ferro rod. And the sharpener, I'll probably replace that with something different. But like I said, you'll see the knife being used in videos where I need to chop up wood and stuff. And you'll see it be used in my outdoor videos until I have enough confidence in it that it's a performer. And it feels like it is. You know, this is really just a first look at it. It feels like it's a decent knife. I don't see any real quality issues with it yet. I forgot to show you, but I did poke the tip into that stump I have out there a few times and twist it, obviously. Not bent, not broken off or damaged. So as far as the knife itself goes, great deal for 42 bucks, you know. 42.35 and free shipping, I believe, on Amazon. And I will put a link down below in the description down here so you can pick one of these up. Maybe you'll have better luck with the ferro rod. I mean, extras in knives generally, to me, are throwaway items because they're usually compromises. I would rather put my own sharpener and, you know, a better ferro rod in here and not worry about it. Or just carry a ferro rod in my fire kit and not even have one in this bag. And I'm sure it'd be possible to even take off this little section here with a pair of scissors if you really wanted to. So, that is the Schrade SCHF52M, and the M is for the micarta handles, which, by the way, the micarta grips, the scales were very, very nice. Comfortable in your hands. Some people were saying they were too grippy and they were going to sand them down. These are perfect. These are really perfect. And I kind of like them over the TPE, the rubberized plastic ones, the rubberized kind of ones. I kind of like them because they have a more grippy feel. You kind of have more of you feel like you have more control of the knife. It doesn't feel as bouncy with rubber handles on it. So that's the knife right there. And like I said, I'll put the description down below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to check out our Amazon store down below. Everything that I review that I can find on Amazon, I put in the store. If you want to try it out, you can go right there and purchase it. It helps out the channel. If there's nothing in there that you want, just click the link and shop as you normally would. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it helps us out a whole lot. And don't forget to check out our Thrive Life link. We have lots of freeze-dried food on that site. That is down below there, so you can check that out too. And thanks for watching. Stay safe and stay prepared.